What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of The Point. I'm your host, Ana Kasparian, and we have a studly-ass panel on the show today. You're probably wondering, who are these studs? Well, let me go ahead and introduce them. We have Drew Carter, who's an actor, TV host, and former NFL player. Drew, thank you for coming back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right.
Studs.
We also have Hasan Piker, who is the host of Pop Crunch on the TYT network. You guys should check that out on Pop Trigger's YouTube page, which is awesome. You just recently did a really fun red carpet thing. What was it again?
It was Fuck, Marry, Kill at the VMAs, where I asked a bunch of stupid questions.
Yeah.
I did another one that's actually going to come out about grief eating.
Grief eating?
Yeah, when you're sad.
Yeah.
With all the celebrities there.
Nice. All right, looking forward to that. All right, so what are we talking about on the show today? Well, one second grader has been the victim of a terrible dress code at one school in Utah. Also, a Syrian refugee opens up about why he decided to leave Syria, and he's met with lots of hate on social media. And also, the Mets have apologized for the kiss cam. Why? And finally, we'll end the show with a discussion about how Chinese men can donate their sperm for an iPhone. But let's get started with a Native American boy who has been victimized by a dress code in Utah. Jacob Sandin is a Native American who went to Arrowhead Elementary in Utah. And recently, he showed up to class looking like this. He had a mohawk that apparently went against the school's dress code. Now, his father is a member of Seneca Nation, and his mother is also a Native American. And apparently, this hairstyle is meant to represent his heritage. But unfortunately, the school was unwilling to understand that at first, and then later on, they kind of gave him a pass. So basically, administrators had called his parents and told him, yo, your son is breaking the dress code. This is very serious. You need to pick his ass up. And the parents tried to explain that this was meant to be something that represents who he is and his Native American heritage. And apparently, the principal of Arrowhead Elementary said that they need some sort of proof, maybe some sort of letter from the leader of their tribe implying that this is actually an acceptable hairstyle, which is ridiculous. Now, this whole situation lasted a while, but thankfully he did not get expelled, he didn't get suspended, they didn't actually make him leave the school. At the end of the day, they realized that they were making a mistake and they allowed him to continue learning at this school. So according to Susan Hara, who's the principal, if there's any kind of a hairstyle that is a distraction, then we have to tell the parents that we've got a problem. That's a protocol that we go through, and I felt like it was handled efficiently and that we respected their culture. Now, what do you guys think about this? I have really strong feelings about dress codes. I hate dress codes. I hate being told what to wear. Of course, when I was in school, I had to deal with it quite a bit, and I understand the reasoning behind it. They're trying to make sure that students aren't a distraction. They want to make sure that girls aren't scantily clad. That all makes sense, but sometimes it goes a little too far. Drew, what do you think? Make your point.
First of all, the name of the high school was Arrowhead High School. So I'm like, what? I'm confused about that. And then the second thing is, like, I could get mad. I get mad about hairstyles and dress codes. When I'd be like, some of my teachers, I'd be like, your hairstyle is distracting me, and it's very terrible.
Terrible.
So I could easily just say the same thing, and I feel bad. I feel bad that the kid had to go through that, and had to, like, proof of his heritage. Like, it's just a shame. But
yes. What about you, Haas? Make your point.
I've had the exact same. I'm not even lying right now. I would never do that on The Point. I've had the exact same situation happen to me in middle school. I kid you not.
You had a mohawk for your heritage?
I had a mohawk for my Native American, not my Native American heritage, but I had a mohawk because, I don't know, I just fucking decided. I have crazy parents. They allowed me to do that. I went to the national, right before the national anthem in front of everyone in the school. The principal on the microphone said, Hasan, go back home, buzz the rest of your hair, and come back.
Yeah, Haas,
in
but
front of the entire school.
You're Turkish, though. Like, Turks don't have mohawks to represent
but I guess
their
what I'm
heritage,
trying
so it's not the same situation.
But it's still ridiculous that I think any sort of hairstyle limitation is stupid. I'm just trying to express myself as a child.
Distraction?
So,
Distraction.
No, I totally get it. Look, I teach at a university, and sometimes I go to school dressed, I don't know. I mean,
sexy. The word you're looking for is sexy.
Well, I'm a sexy bitch. So what am I going to do? Am I going to wear baggy ass clothes just because I'm teaching at a university? Like, so I hate dress codes.
Who made these rules?
Who made these rules? And how do you determine what is and isn't a distracting hairstyle, right? It's a mohawk. It's a little different, but it's not the end of the world if he has that hairstyle. Anyway, so here's the personal question for the story. What's something that you got in trouble for when you were in grade school? Drew.
Actually, I wore a Bart Simpson "I'm Bart Simpson, who the hell are you?" T-shirt, and I got sent home from school. I was pretty upset about that. I loved Bart Simpson at the time. This is like mid-90s. This is Simpson
I love
Mania.
it.
Yeah.
Well, if your
Yeah.
parents were okay with it, why is it
Yeah,
such
my
a big
mom
deal?
bought me the
Does it
shirt.
say hell?
It said hell. Yeah, it said hell.
Oh,
and I
Jesus.
was like, my mom had to come pick me up from school, and she brought me a shirt to change in.
That's crazy.
That's
Were you
pretty-
going to Arrowhead High School? Is that the high school you were at?
I almost feel like it now. Maybe
amazing.
this is in Ohio. Same difference, I guess.
What about you, Haas?
I've gotten, believe it or
Mohawk,
not,
the Mohawk.
believe it or not, I got in trouble a lot
Really?
when I was in school. Yeah, because
You seem
Turkish
like
school.
you would have been such a compliant kid.
Oh, that's weird, right? No, because in Turkish schools, there's so many different rules and regulations, and now I realize that most of them came, like the enforcement came from the insecurities of my principals and my teachers. But at the time, I was like, oh my God, like I guess I'm fucking up all the time. I've had to do push-ups because I was late to class.
Ooh.
I would always get like kind of hit in the back of the head every now and then for
Damn,
never
Turks
tucking
don't
in my
play.
shirt because I
don't
was
play,
fat. And like I didn't want to tug on my shirt because I thought my booty was too big. Now I know that girls like that. I didn't know that back then.
I like how this turned into a humble brag for Haas.
I know.
Okay.
Now you
like-
got a big ass. We all
I
know you
was
got a big
fat though, you know? It's just, so basically I went through the same scrutiny that this Native American boy did. I'm kidding, I did not. But,
Yes.
you know, rules are ridiculous.
All right,
Rules are
I got
real.
in trouble for something insane now that I think about it in retrospect. When I was in 6th grade, I went to a middle school in a rich part of town. My mom lied about where we were living, so I could end up living or going to school in a nice area. Anyway, they would do random locker checks to make sure kids didn't have weapons or
Right.
anything. And one of the counselors did a check of my locker, and of course I don't have weapons, but I used to write poems like any other emo middle schooler, right? And so he read my poems, and he thought that I was like this promiscuous, sexually active kid, which I wasn't. I hadn't had sex yet. And so he called my mom to the office so she could read the poems and see what I was writing. I swear to you, there was nothing violent, nothing even like sexual in nature. It was just like an emo kid pretending like she's in love.
Expressing
Yeah.
yourself.
And my mom was a really, really strict parent, and she was really scared that I would become sexually active at a young age. And so she came into the office, she read the poems, and she was so upset. And I remember getting in trouble by that. And now that I think about it, I wish I remember the counselor's name so I could hit him up and be like, "You're a bitch," right? Like, who does that? So I got in trouble for that, and that was unacceptable.
And I have sex now, so suck it,
And
counselor.
I feel
Right.
like you like, especially as a child, it's like I wouldn't say promote, but they want kids to express themselves emotionally, and like most kids like to hold it in. But then all of a sudden you do
Yes.
it, and it's like, now you're wrong for doing that as well.
Right.
I'm just thinking of this perverted counselor going through your locker for weapons, and then it's like, oh, there's a poem here. Ooh, it's salacious. Like, fuck you, dude.
I
Like,
know, what a creep. Now that I think about it, it's more of a creep than anything else.
I know.
Anyway.
I'm gonna keep this poem.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so share your stories. Tell us if you've ever been in trouble in grade school. I'm sure you have. We've all been in trouble. We like reading your comments. We like engaging with you, so comment in the section below, and we'll see you soon. Syrian refugees are going to European countries in order to escape the terrible conditions of the country that they're from. Right now, it is torn apart by war. The rebels are fighting Assad. ISIS is taking over. And of course, the situation in Syria is violent and dangerous. So as a result, CNN International wanted its audience to understand what exactly the Syrian refugees are going through. And as a result, they had one refugee by the name of Melia talk about his situation and why he's seeking work in Europe. Now, unfortunately, he was met with some bigotry and some hatred, and I want to give you guys some examples of that. Now, this is on Facebook, and Tony Lewis is the person who asked this question. Milad, you've said in the article that you don't want to use your real name because of reprisals from the family you left behind in Syria. What kind of man leaves his family in a war zone to save himself first? Now, that's a pretty ridiculous question, if you ask me, right? It's not like he wanted to leave his family in a war zone and go live this great life. He's probably trying to find a way out for them as well. But let me allow him to answer the question himself. He says, it was not an easy decision for them to leave their home and work. I am young, I don't have a house, I have time to look for another job and another place to live. But my father, for example, who is 60-odd years old, it's not an easy decision for him to leave everything. He left after 2 years, not at the same time as me, after he didn't find that anything had changed and saw that everything was going badly. So I like that he is answering these questions in a very clear, understanding way, because I feel like if I were in his situation and I was dealing with the violence in my own country and I was forced to leave, I would not be as nice.
I would not either.
Right? So here's another one, another question. Someone said, Milad is one of the 100 Syrians who are trying to find a job. Others will live on benefits. So there's this notion that Syrian refugees are leaving their country, they're leaving everything they know behind because they're looking for a handout, which is absurd. And here's how he answered the question. A lot of Syrians prefer to work and get money from their work. They don't prefer to live on benefits. If you read about Syrians and Syria, people work too much. Syria exported a lot of products to other countries, and not just Syria. A lot of people from a lot of countries in the UK live on benefits. It's not just Syrians. And he goes on. You guys can go ahead and, read that for yourselves. But I think that this speaks to some of the bigotry that we're not only experiencing here in the United States, but worldwide. There's a lack of empathy and understanding toward these refugees. Many of them are peaceful people who are just looking for a better life for themselves and their families. Haas, what do you think about this story? Make your point.
Okay. First of all, I think literally the worst thing you can do ever in any given situation is subject yourself to internet trolls. And this guy's been through so much shit in the CNN. I mean, I like that they want to offer his perspective on the matter, but opening him up to internet trolls like we experienced on the daily is the worst thing that you can do to someone who's been through such a traumatic experience, because they'll ask insensitive questions like that. And the second point I wanted to make about what he said about Germany, and this is my speculation, but Germans always are looking for able-bodied men and women because they're such an industrious nation. And there is a reason behind, there's a reason behind why they're allowing so many Syrians to come to Germany, and they're kind of leading that effort in Europe, and everyone's like, look at Germany, they're doing this. And he's right. Germans have studied the Syrians. They understand that they're willing to work, and everyone's willing to work. I mean, it's just, there's a reason for that, but I feel like the only reason for why you wouldn't accept these people into your country, and Turkey is a huge country that accepts a lot of Syrians as well, is just pure racism.
Right. I mean, if anything, bigotry, because there's been a lot of fear-mongering about Muslims in the media, and, you see it worldwide, and it's a really sad situation. Drew, make your point.
Same, Hasan, I kind of piggyback off the pure racism, bigotry. It's just ignorance of, not knowing the country, not knowing the person. They just see what they see on TV. They expect, everybody from that country is ISIS. They think that if people are coming in, they're, bombing and just terrorizing everything.
Well, they're brown. So they must be evil.
They must be evil. So it's kind of just a sad thing. And I mean, more power to him to answer the questions, and he answered them more politely than I would, like he said.
Yeah.
And I would definitely fire off on the trolls, which I've done plenty of times.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Well, here's what I have to say about the trolls. I love that he's doing this, and I love what we do, because even though you expose yourself to trolls, there are people out there who want to learn about you, they want to listen, and they want to be informed. Right. And you got to focus on them as opposed to the haters. Right. So here's the personal question. What would you like to ask a refugee? Drew. Well,
I actually looked up the definition of refugee, and I was like, it depends on if it was a war refugee or, sometimes it can be natural disaster refugee. So, but my thing would just be, I want to hear your story through your mouth, not through a reporter or anything. Just you and me sit down. I just want to hear your story. That's what I want to.
Yeah. So what about you, Haas?
Don't get mad at me. Would you rather be Brad Pitt's brother, Doug Pitt, or the third Hemsworth brother?
Oh my God. That's what you would ask a refugee? The funny thing is, I just thought to myself, what's the likelihood of a refugee knowing who Doug Pitt is, right? And then I realized I did a story on Doug Pitt a few years ago, and I don't even really know who Doug Pitt is, other than it's
a good
Brad
guy.
Pitt's. Yeah.
Southern guy.
I didn't even know until you mentioned your number earlier today.
Just check it out. It's really interesting. But I'm just saying, it's obviously a joke, but they would probably be like, either I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, what I would want to ask a Syrian refugee is, share some stories of kindness that you've experienced, because we cover so many stories of the brutality that they deal with, the bigotry that they deal with, that sometimes I really want to regain my faith in humanity. So tell me that there are good people out there that have tried to help you out. Make me realize that not everyone's an asshole. All right, so that's what I would ask. You're the worst. Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing because of how stupid my question is.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the audience.
But I mean, I feel like too, they also would enjoy. I feel like they would enjoy something. Maybe they wouldn't want to answer all these, like my question. They'd be like, I've answered this question 1,000 times.
So many times.
Can I, what's your favorite food?
Obviously.
What's your favorite color?
That's what
something where
I was like, what do you think about hamburgers? Like, do you like
do you
bacon is the best thing, but
Why
you're
do they
Muslim,
call
can't
Why
have
do they
it.
call hamburgers when they're made with beef usually? Like that's what I want to know.
I don't know. That's it.
Right?
I don't think that's a question you would ask a Syrian refugee. Though.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, well, tell us what you would like to ask a Syrian refugee, and also, what do you make of this story and some of the bigotry that Muslims and Syrians have had to deal with as of late? Comment in the section below, tell us what you think, and we'll talk to you soon. If you've ever been to a live sporting event, sometimes you'll see the kiss cam on the Jumbotron. I particularly love it because it's a lot of fun, but it turns out that the Mets had to apologize for using the kiss cam on members of the opposing team. Now, of course, that means that they tried to get two men to kiss, and as a result, some people were not too pleased with it. One of those people was Eaton Bednarsh, and he tweeted about this for quite a bit until the Mets finally decided to change their policy on the kiss cam. He had tweeted, "Mets, putting two men together on the kiss cam isn't a punchline. I want to keep coming to the games. Please stop doing this." Now, other people also agreed with him, and so that's why the Mets decided to change their policy on that. Now, there are other teams who use the kiss cam, but they do it in a fun and non-offensive way. For instance, the Houston Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers, which I love. I bleed blue. I don't know what that means, but people say it all the time. They do use it on actual same-sex couples. So they're not doing it to embarrass two guys. They're doing it with a legitimate couple that genuinely wants to kiss, I think. Anyway, so I want to know what you guys think about this story. Some people might argue that this is political correctness run amok. Drew, make your point.
It is political correctness run amok. I just feel like, how do they know what, like, if a couple are in the crowd and it's two men, if they know they're a couple, and then maybe somebody might be embarrassed if it's a guy and a girl, like, they'd be like, I don't know this girl, like, you might get embarrassed as well. So they're going to cut out the kiss cam forever now just because, and I actually been on a kiss cam with a teammate because we're in an away game and they put us together and you sit there and you're like,
what did you do? What did you do?
we just push each other like, no, this is not gonna happen.
No.
But
Made out hardcore.
but it's just like, I don't know, it's sensitive. People are too sensitive nowadays.
I think it's ridiculous. Am I making my point? Did I just cut?
That's enough of a point.
Okay. No, I have more to say. I have more to say.
Tell me.
No, I agree. I think this political sensitivity is ridiculous. I also want to make the point that this guy is a Mets fan, so let's keep that in mind. He's probably miserable 95% of the time.
True.
And he's also probably a Jets fan as well if he's a Mets fan. He's just fucking Jason Rubin, Mets fan. Can't even wear his jersey. Can't even wear his jersey out in public because people will lambast him for just being a Mets fan.
Oh,
and I think he's looking for things to be upset with.
Yeah.
When, you know.
Look, I want to be sensitive to the people that are upset about this, but I think Drew makes a really great point about how the whole point of the kiss cam is to kind of embarrass people, right? It's not just to embarrass gay couples, it's also done to embarrass straight couples, and it's fun, and if you don't want to kiss the person, you handle it just the way Drew did. You just push them and be like, no, 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 everyone laughs, and you move on. I feel like we're kind of cutting out the fun of sporting events and just entertainment in general because people, unfortunately, are taking something that's meant to be harmless in the wrong way. Sorry, I know that people are offended by that, but that's the way I feel. Now, here's the personal question for the story. How affectionate are you guys in public? Haas, you have a beautiful girlfriend.
I used to hate PDA. Like I never did it.
And then I started dating a supermodel.
No.
And I decided I love it.
It was, but that was probably because I just didn't feel comfortable being around the girls that I was hooking up with, which is an issue of mine, I guess. But like now I'm totally cool with PDA. If you love the person, then you do it. You don't even think about it. Like you want to do it.
Yes.
So I'm very affectionate in public.
Drew, what about you?
It's gonna take a lot for me to, like I'm gonna have to be how deeply in love he is to really do it. I'm not just going on dates and like, we're not holding hands like and cuddling in the park on the first date. It's gonna take a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean I agree with you on that. If you're just casually dating someone, it's a little different. But like with my significant other, I'm unbearably affectionate.
Oh, we know.
It's like it's just too hot. I'm like, can I just get some space right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like
bothering me all the time.
Yeah, like when girls do it, like inappropriately, like if you're just like Drew said, like you're on a first date or something, and then they want to cuddle with you, and you're like, oh come on, what are you doing? Like we're out in public, just stop.
I love it. I can't get enough of that shit. I will.
I feel sick.
Really, really.
Ew.
I'm unbearable. Yeah, I don't know. I like it, but do you guys
Maybe
like
I envy it. Maybe that's secretly I'm just
I'm
jealous.
just gonna wait. I mean, I don't know, your situation with past relationships, but maybe you need to be like deeply in love,
Yeah,
and then you'll
I think
realize
so.
what it's like, because it's like a good feeling. And I know people get grossed out by it, but I kind of like that too.
Showing off. See, now you're just showing off in front of people to see.
know.
We're in love and nobody else's care matters around it.
Well, tell us what you guys think about PDA, and also, what do you think about the Kiss Cam? Maybe you disagree with us, and we'd love to hear your arguments. So comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. An assistant principal in New York, near the Hamptons, is in a little bit of trouble after she appeared in a music video that had sexual content and drinking and fun and twerking. Now, this is an assistant principal who was in the music video not only by herself, but also with her husband. She was not twerking herself. She's only in the beginning and the end of the video. And apparently it seems like she's just, allowing the rapper, JR, and also Trey Songz to come and, have a shindig at her house, and then later on they come back and they discover this crazy wild party. Now, Esther Adler O'Keefe is the assistant principal in question, and the reason why this is such a big deal is because the school's now investigating her because they believe that her actions go against the school policies, right? And the school policy is you are never allowed to have any fun or do anything that might be deemed a little salacious outside of school, okay? On your personal fucking time. Now, her only line in the music video is, "Enjoy yourself, just remember security's here." That's all she says. One of her former students says, "This is karma, Adler O'Keefe, for suspending me in 12th grade." How is this karma, Clay? Because she had fun? Because she was in a music video? I already made my point about this. I think this is bullshit, but I want to know what you guys think about it. Drew, make your point.
Oh, it's bullshit. I mean, the fact, is it her house? I don't even know. But
I don't
the thing about
know.
it is she's just making a cameo. Who else want to be a cameo with Trey Songz video with all them girls in there? I mean, I'm like kind of jealous, but
if she was in a music video, I hate that. Wait, is it my turn?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sorry. Look, I hate to be the guy that's like, this is like, and look for like racist undertones, but like if she was in a music video with, let's say, the beautiful Lindsay Sterling, who's like a famous violinist, would she be in this much heat?
No,
You know what I mean? It's like, how dare she kiss a black man on the cheek and then have women twerking around in her own house? But what I really want to know is if that's really her house or not, because then she's definitely overpaid. Like,
she's getting
holy
paid
shit.
$125,000 a year, but she's an administrator. She's an assistant principal in the Hamptons. So it's not surprising that she's making six figures. And I'm unsure as to whether or not that's her house. But honestly, it's really irrelevant to me that she appeared on that music video, just because it's her personal time. And let's say she even posed nude in a photo shoot in the past. Like, there have been teachers who have gotten fired for that. I feel like that kind of shaming is unacceptable, and it's none of the school's business. People should be able to live their lives, and they shouldn't feel ashamed of doing something that might be a little fun. All right, so here's the personal question. If you were leading a double life, what would that life look like, Hasan?
I can't wait to hear this.
I would just, it's obvious, guys. I would be a secret agent. I thought we were just totally making this up. So I thought, like, if I had a double life, I would be like, what was that movie?
James Bond?
Yeah, not even James Bond. It was like, there was a more realistic version where the guy is a secret agent. I think it was maybe Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, maybe. Where they're both agents.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but they're both agents, but they don't know that the other person's an agent until they have to kill each other or something. It's like, that would be my life, where I would be an agent, and I go and I kill like Kim Jong-un or something at night, and then I come back home and I'm like, yeah, I just, I had a rough day in my accounting job. God, they're hammering me out there, but I'm a secret agent.
Okay, reality. All right. Drew, what about you?
I'd be like a secret professional football player.
I don't know.
You have a helmet. You have a helmet.
I have a helmet advisor. They would never know that I played football. And I don't know. You kind of stole mine. I would be a secret agent. I'd be more of the Bond type guy, a little smooth tuxedo, cool gadgets, hang out.
Throw your hat in
always,
the ring.
Always got the best looking girl.
With the new Bond coming out, it could be Idris Elba.
No,
You should just
they won't
be
even
like,
let Idris.
I know. You should be like, it should be Drew Carter, obviously.
Obviously, I'm American, and it's not gonna really work.
I've talked about this a little bit on the show, and I did an interview where I elaborated on it. I would be a go-go dancer. There's like no doubt about it. I love dancing. I love go-go dancers, period. I think they're sexy, they're powerful, they're confident. There's nothing better than that. So I want to be in front of a huge crowd of drunk club goers and just shake my booty.
Just going.
Yeah.
You know you can still do that.
Yeah, you can still do that.
No.
It's still, we can't be fucking secret agents.
I know, but here's the thing.
Vegas,
go-go
you can go to Vegas, and there's plenty of jobs.
Yeah.
For
Well,
dancing.
there are, but I love my career. Wouldn't that kind of hurt my credibility a little bit?
Or maybe like make it even better for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe,
Ana
maybe.
Kasparian, secret go.
Like just like the assistant principal, like
Yeah.
who cares about credit? We're just doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Plus, what's gonna happen? Is TYT gonna fire me if I'm a go-go dancer?
I know.
They'll be like, oh, they're gonna pub it. They'll be like,
They allow me to be in front of the camera. They'll let everyone do
I know,
anything
no
they
holds
want.
barred up in this bitch. There's no
Yeah.
question about that. All right, well, tell us what you think. What would you do if you had a double life? And also, what do you think about this high school principal? Maybe you think this does damage her credibility. Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll see you soon.
she's my principal.
Although China has a one-child policy, there seems to be a sperm shortage in the country. And as a result, some sperm banks are putting out advertisements letting men know that if they donate their sperm, they could get paid handsomely for it. In fact, they could get paid enough to purchase an iPhone. Now, the going rate for donations seems to hover between $785 and $940, which is so crazy. Think about it. All these guys have to do is what they're probably already doing, jerk off, and then give someone their sperm. Now, the advertisements from sperm banks in several provinces include Shanghai and also Hubei. Here's an example of one of them. And apparently one of them says, no need to sell a kidney. Shanghai Sperm Bank can make your iPhone 6S dream come true. Okay, so that was basically a little reference to a controversial situation that happened fairly recently. A 17-year-old student sold one of his kidneys on the black market so he could make enough money to buy an iPhone and an iPad. So that's what's happening in China. What do you guys think about this? Drew, make your point.
Well, knowing that I just ordered my iPhone 6 Plus 2 days ago, I would say if they're giving away 6 Pluses, then I wouldn't have any problem with this.
Really? Okay, so I think it kind of begs
I mean, honestly,
a larger question about donating sperm, because you donate sperm, and yes, there are confidentiality agreements, and there are ways to make sure that your future children never reach out to you. But wouldn't you be
They
weird?
can be null and void. They can be nullified. I've done extensive research on this matter because I was really poor when I first came out to LA, and I thought about selling my sperm. And I was living at UCLA, and they had like a pretty great facility. It's awesome, but there's a couple weird things about it. So if you actually allow them to, give your information to your child, to your potential children, if they take your sperm and they use it, they pay you more money. Like if you say no, I want to be private about this. Like I don't want my children to come find me in the future. Like that fucking Vince Vaughn movie, The Delivery Man or whatever. Like then they pay you less. And there's a lot of different, like sperm donation is not easy. You can't have sex, you can't masturbate ever because your sperm count has to be high. So I mean, the payment that they're getting, I think is not even enough. But
Wow.
having said that, it is much more expensive in China, I guess, than it is in America. So I've actually now reconsidered maybe moving out there and donating sperm for a living.
The thing is, they want like sperm from quality men, so I don't know if that's.
Excuse me, I'm 6'4".
I know. That's
Yeah.
not the end-all, be-all of sperm.
Well, that's what you think.
I know. People do want taller kids. I
Tall,
guess.
sexy men. There
all
you
right,
go.
all right,
Educated
all right.
bachelor.
All right, so here's the question. What would you trade your sperm or your eggs for? Of course, the eggs part is for me. Nothing. There's nothing. Because, look, aside from feeling uncomfortable that someone with my DNA is floating around out there, it's really difficult for women to donate their eggs. They have to go through all these hormone treatments, and it's, like, painful. You might get fat. I don't want to deal with that shit. So, no, I wouldn't do it at all. Drew, what about you?
I don't know, but pizza, donut, cookies, high five, pat on the back. I'd be like, good job. I'd be like, that's a good trade-off.
All right.
High five.
Oh my God.
No, I even though I just made that point about how $700 is lucrative and you could potentially have a career doing that. No, I agree. I think the prospect of having like half Hasans out there that I don't know about.
It's scary, right?
And like, I'm a fucked up person. Like I need to be able to shape the baby eventually throughout his life so that it doesn't turn out to be like the next Adolf Hitler or something. So I can't risk that.
All right. Well, tell us what you think. Maybe you've already donated your stuff, whether you're a man or a woman. I want to hear your stories. So comment in the section below, share what you think, and we'll see you soon. All right, guys, that does it for today's show. If you haven't subscribed to The Point, I think you're insane. You absolutely should. We do a show once a week, and of course, we have many different topics that we talk about, some of which are viral, some of which are very important, like the Syrian refugee story that we talked about today. I want to give our panelists an opportunity to plug the work that they're doing. So, Drew Carter, let them know.
Well, you can find me on social media. It's Drewski, 3 eyes. You can find me in a new music video, Singer Tweed. You can see me in a new F-150 Ford commercial. You can see me sometimes on TYT Sports out here.
All right.
And my other friends' show, The Breakdown. So,
Nice.
F-150, that's nice.
Oh, yeah, fall, you know.
It's great.
Football season.
I know.
Let's just get these residuals
awesome.
going. No, I was kidding.
No, for sure.
What about you, Haas?
All right, so I'm on Pop Crunch. I have my weekly show there. Definitely check that out. It's fucking awesome. And also, I am doing a new segment called I Want to Sound Smart. I Want to Sound I can't talk about it. Holy shit, I nailed it. I Want to Sound Smart and Interesting, or INSIGHT for short. And it's awesome. It has a bunch of different, like TIL today. I learned facts on it, and definitely check that out. It is said that Aaron Wysocki and Cenk Uygur love the show. They say, I don't know, I've heard that.
Well, if Aaron and Cenk say they love the show,
like a
then
green
everyone's going to love the show.
So definitely check it out. And follow me on Instagram and send me salacious DMs. I'm just kidding, don't do that. At Hasan the Hun.
Why am I not surprised that Haas's plug was the longest plug in the history of The Point? I'm Ana Kasparian. You guys can check me out on The Young Turks Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where we do a live stream. A lot of you don't know that. And also follow me on social media at Ana Kasparian on Twitter and Ana Kasparian TYT on Instagram. We love you guys. We love reading your comments and engaging with you. So remember, never be afraid to make your point. At one school in Utah. Also, a Syrian refugee opens up about why he decided to leave Syria, and he's met with lots of hate on social media. And also, the Mets have apologized for the kiss cam. Why? And finally, we'll end the show with a discussion about how Chinese men can donate their sperm for an iPhone. But let's get started with a Native American boy who has been victimized by a dress code in Utah. Jacob Sandin is a Native American who went to Arrowhead Elementary in Utah. And recently, he showed up to class looking like this. He had a mohawk that apparently went against the school's dress code. Now, his father is a member of Seneca Nation, and his mother is also a Native American. And apparently, this hairstyle is meant to represent his heritage. But unfortunately, the school was unwilling to understand that at first, and then later on, they kind of gave him a pass. So basically, administrators had called... What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of The Point. I'm your host, Ana Kasparian, and we have a studly-ass panel on the show today. You're probably wondering, who are these studs? Well, let me go ahead and introduce them. We have Drew Carter, who's an actor, TV host, and former NFL player. Drew, thank you for coming back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right.
Studs.
We also have Hasan Piker, who is the host of Pop Crunch on the TYT network. You guys should check that out on Pop Trigger's YouTube page, which is awesome. You just recently did a really fun red carpet thing. What was it again?
It was Fuck, Marry, Kill at the VMAs, where I asked a bunch of stupid questions.
Yeah.
I did another one that's actually going to come out about grief eating.
Grief eating.
Yeah, when you're sad.
Yeah.
With all the celebrities there.
Nice.
fun.
All right,
Stuff.
looking forward to that. All right, so what are we talking about on the show today? Well, one second grader has been the victim of a terrible dress code. Think about this. I have really strong feelings about dress codes. I hate dress codes. I hate being told what to wear. Of course, when I was in school, I had to deal with it quite a bit, and I understand the reasoning behind it. They're trying to make sure that students aren't a distraction. They want to make sure that girls aren't scantily clad. That all makes sense, but sometimes it goes a little too far. Drew, what do you think? Make your point.
First of all, the name of the high school was Arrowhead High School. So I'm like, what? I'm confused about that. And then the second thing is like, I could get mad. I get mad about hairstyles and dress codes. When I'd be like, some of my teachers, I'd be like, your hairstyle is distracting me, and it's very terrible.
Terrible.
So I could easily just say the same thing, and I feel bad. I feel bad that the kid had to go through that.
Yeah.
And had to like proof of his heritage. Like it's a shame. But
Yes. What about you, Haas? Make your point.
I've had the exact same. I'm not even lying right now. I would never do that on the point. I've had the exact same situation happen to me in middle school. I kid you not.
You had a mohawk for your heritage?
I had a mohawk for my Native American, not my Native American heritage, but I had a mohawk because I don't know. I just fucking decided. I have crazy parents. They allowed me to do that. I went to the national right before the national anthem in front of everyone in the school. The principal on the microphone said, "Hasan, go back home, buzz the rest of your hair, and come back."
Yeah, Haas,
in
but
front of the entire school.
you're Turkish, though. Like, Turks don't have mohawks to represent
but I guess
their
what I'm
heritage,
trying,
so it's not the same
But
situation.
it's still ridiculous that I think any sort of hairstyle limitation is stupid. I'm just trying to express myself as a child.
Distraction.
So,
Distraction.
No, I totally get it. Look, I teach at a university, and sometimes I go to school dressed, I don't know. I mean, his parents and told him, yo, your son is breaking the dress code. This is very serious. You need to pick his ass up. And the parents tried to explain that this was meant to be something that represents who he is and his Native American heritage. And apparently the principal of Arrowhead Elementary said that they need some sort of proof, maybe some sort of letter from the leader of their tribe implying that this is actually an acceptable hairstyle, which is ridiculous. Now, this whole situation lasted a while, but thankfully he did not get expelled, he didn't get suspended, they didn't actually make him leave the school. At the end of the day, they realized that they were making a mistake and they allowed him to continue learning at this school. So according to Susan Hara, who's the principal, if there's any kind of a hairstyle that is a distraction, then we have to tell the parents that we've got a problem. That's a protocol that we go through, and I felt like it was handled efficiently and that we respected their culture. Now, what do you guys think?